You know, the tools we use every single day as developers can either be our best friends or our worst enemies. They can launch us forward, or they can just cost us tons of time and focus. So today, we're going to turn one of the most common tools, Git, into a legit superpower.
Does this feel familiar at all? Ever have one of those days where you feel like you're just wrestling with Git, trying to fix some messy history, or just waiting and waiting for a code review? Well, we're going to take those exact frustrations and flip them into productivity-boosting habits. Let's dive right in.
All right, let's kick things off with a scenario that is, I'm sure, all too familiar. Picture this. You are deep in the zone. I mean, hours into building out a big, complex new feature. Your brain is firing on all cylinders, and then, bam! An urgent production-level bug report hits your desk, and everyone's looking at you.
Now, the old way of handling this, it's an absolute productivity killer. You got to stop everything, stash all your half-finished, probably broken work, switch branches, and then try to cram this entirely new problem into your head. The real cost here isn't just the few minutes of typing Git commands. It's the hours it takes to get back into that deep focus state on your original task. It's a total flow breaker.
But what if you never had to panic stash your work ever again? Well, this is where Git Worktree comes in to save the day. It's a feature that lets you check out multiple branches at the same time in totally separate folders, all magically linked to the same repository. Think of it like having parallel universes for your code running side by side. It's awesome.
So in practice, the workflow becomes just incredibly simple. Instead of stashing, you run one command to spin up a new work tree for that hotfix. You jump into that separate folder, fix the bug, commit it, push it, and all the while your original feature work is sitting there completely untouched. No interruption, no lost focus.
And just look at the difference here. It is night and day. On the left, you've got that clunky, error-prone dance of stashing and switching and hoping for the best. And on the right, a single command that unlocks true parallel work. The after isn't just cleaner, it's a fundamentally faster and safer way to work.
So the bottom line is, Git Worktree is way more than just a neat trick. It directly leads to faster delivery and safer experimentation because it completely changes how you can handle multiple tasks. It basically lets you be in two places at once.
Okay, next up is a bottleneck that I know we've all felt, the giant pull request, right? You've spent 2 weeks building this incredible feature. You submit a PR with like 50 file changes and then crickets. It just sits there for days because who has the time or the mental energy to even start reviewing that thing?
And this pain, it goes both ways. For the reviewer, a massive PR is just intimidating. And honestly, it's really hard to analyze it thoroughly. For you, the author, that slow feedback loop means your work is getting stale, which leads to a much higher chance of painful merge conflicts later on. It just grinds everything to a halt.
The proof is right here in the numbers. When you shrink your pull requests, you're not just making your reviewer's life easier, you're getting your own code shipped faster. Review speed and code quality shoot way up, while the chance of merge conflicts absolutely plummets. It is a win-win-win.
So this means you get feedback way faster, you can iterate more quickly. When bugs do pop up, they're in these small, isolated chunks of code, making them a breeze to fix. This simple habit, it directly leads to a healthier, higher quality code base for everyone.
Okay, let's talk about the story your repository tells. A tangled, confusing commit history is like a crime scene with no clues. When a bug shows up weeks down the road, trying to figure out why a change was made from a messy log is an absolute nightmare. We've basically got two main tools for this job, merge and rebase. Think of Git merge as the historian. It tells the story exactly as it happened, warts and all, creating those extra merge commits that can look like a tangled web. Git rebase, on the other hand, is the storyteller. It rewrites history to create a clean, single, straight line of commits, a story that's so much easier to follow. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The Linux kernel project, one of the largest, most complex open source projects on the planet, lives by this rule. They argue that a clean history isn't just about looking pretty. It's a critical tool for making debugging and code review actually efficient at a massive scale. So what's the best practice? Well, for a lot of teams, it's a hybrid approach. You use rebase on your local feature branch to clean things up, squashing small fixes, rewording messages, to tell a really clear story. Then you use merge to bring that beautifully polished branch into main, which preserves the context of the feature as one single unit of work. Best of both worlds.
All right, this next one is a subtle one, but it can be so incredibly frustrating, especially for teams working across different operating systems. It's the invisible menace of line endings.
So here's the deal. Windows uses a different set of invisible characters to mark the end of a line than macOS and Linux do. This means a developer on a Mac can open a file, change literally nothing, save it, and suddenly Git thinks every single line in that file has changed. This creates so much useless noise in your commit history and can cause some of the most infuriating merge conflicts ever. The good news is, the fix is a super simple one-time configuration. On Windows, you just set AutoCRLF to true, and it'll handle the conversion for you. On macOS or Linux, you set it to input to prevent bad commits from happening in the first place. Run this command just once on your machine, and you will never have to fight this ghost again.
Okay, so we've mastered our command line workflow. Now let's unlock some superpowers that are hidden right inside the GitHub interface. 'Cause, let's be real, we spend hours a day there.
First up, this one is pure magic. Go to any repository on GitHub and just press the period key. That's it. The entire page will instantly transform into a full web-based VS Code editor. It is perfect for browsing code or making a quick edit without ever having to clone the repo.
Have you ever sent someone a link to a line of code, only to have that link break a week later when the branch changes? This is the fix. While you're looking at a file, just press the Y key. The URL will silently swap the branch name for the specific commit hash. That link is now a permalink. It will point to that exact version of that file forever. It's a lifesaver.
Now, if the web editor isn't quite powerful enough for what you need to do, there's another level. Just press the comma key. This will launch the entire repository in a full GitHub Codespaces environment. This gives you a complete cloud-based development setup, terminal and all, ready to go. And finally, the one shortcut to rule them all. Don't worry about memorizing every single one of these. Just remember this. Press the question mark key. Anywhere on GitHub, this will pop up a little panel showing every single keyboard shortcut available for the page you're currently on. It's your secret key to unlocking even more productivity. So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is this. Your development workflow isn't something that just happens to you, it's a series of choices you make. Whether it's killing context switching, cleaning up your commit history, or speeding up your code reviews, these small, intentional improvements are what give you superpowers. So the real question is, what part of your workflow will you choose to fix next?